Cat Williams said 2024 is the year that everybody will be exposed. All the lies will come out. It is May the 15th. And the man was right. All right, you white motherfuckers, all eyes on me. This is the I Refuse podcast. This is Mr. Fox, the I Refuse podcast. I'm back. I know my frequency has kind of died down a little bit on the channel, but you know, your boy has a whole life outside of this thing. But I had to come up on here as we come up on another weekend to talk about two things. DJ Akademiks and Lori Beth Denberg from Nickelodeon's All That and the Steve Harvey show that he had back in the day when he was the King of Comedy is speaking out against Dan Schneider. So, DJ Akademiks is currently facing a civil lawsuit by a woman named Zaya that he was seeing on and off for a little over a year or so. I read over some of the particulars from the filing, and it's not looking good for old boy. So the filing that she did is against Alan Livingston, that's his real government name, and John Doe's 1 through 10 and ABC corporations. It's a civil action, personal injury, complaint, jury demand. The suit states the following things. They met online on or about 2021, casual dating, periodic visits from her place in Pennsylvania by car service to his house in New Jersey. July 16, 2022, this specific day. The suit says that AK, that's Akademiks, contacted her, inviting her to his New Jersey home, and this was after a year or so since their previous time. Prior to her arrival, she claims that AK notified two of his friends a woman is coming over on different types of vibes. That's an indication that she was coming over to engage in sexual activities. There's a reference to a social media post made saying that she's doing her thing now. Upon her arrival in the suit, she was greeted by Khalif, that's John Doe 1. She claimed she was taken aback since AK did not inform her of additional parties being present. She entered the home. Now, there was a power outage that happened around this time. That's also stated in the filing. Khalif invited her into the kitchen and introduced her to Slime, that's John Doe 2. Both of these guys are AK's friends. At some point there, like I said, there was a power outage when she arrived. All three of them sat in the kitchen together, engaging in small talk while waiting for AK to appear. She was offered a drink. She declined. Khalif insisted and stated that he was in charge until AK arrives. Zaya obliges to both men fixing her a drink. She rejected it at first, and then at some point gave them consent to make this drink. At some point, she requests AK and was told to hold on. Khalif left the kitchen to look for AK, came back to say that AK would join them shortly. After the power resumes, Khalif asked her if she would like to use the hot tub and wait for AK there. She said sure. She enters the tub alone. Khalif gets in the hot tub while Slime appeared with a bottle, forcing her to take shots. Slime also is pacing around the hot tub. Zaya starts to experience body reactions, feeling strange, and her body feeling like it was on fire. She claims it was odd given she had only drank half the first drink and a few sips of the new drink Khalif gave her as he entered the hot tub. She also feels lightheaded and dizzy. Slam went to the kitchen and returned with more alcohol, insisting she drink, even going so far as forcibly pouring the alcohol in her mouth. Zaya claims she is disoriented. After she gets out of the tub, she is flat on the concrete floor. She is attacked by Khalif, allegedly. Then, at some point, Slam joins in the attack. Her last memory was of that attack, going in and out of consciousness. She has no memory of entering the home. She then claims she wakes up in bed, naked in AK's room, 4 a.m., to AK pulling her hair, prying open her legs. The next day, AK asks her if she recalls what happened last night. He shows her throw up and contraceptives in the trash can and surveillance footage from the evening. Later on, she learns that AK had disposed of sheets at a dumpster near his office. So, all of this is alleged, and like I've said on the podcast before, a civil suit is different from a criminal suit, and she cannot force the prosecutor to pursue AK for criminal charges. The most she'll probably get from this civil lawsuit is money. That's the point of filing a civil lawsuit. Also, the burden of proof is on her that a rape occurred. When the story first came out earlier this week, and the byline from one of the media outlets was she was repeatedly sexually assaulted. And when I saw the word repeatedly, I thought she left and came back and it kept happening or something. So I was like, what the hell is going on? But reading this, it's not looking too good for DJ Akademiks. And with that, now that this is out, DJ Akademiks must think he's Nino Brown, claiming that if he gets convicted for rape, he is taking the whole entire industry down. That he's not one to hold secrets. And a lot of us on the side, outside looking in are like, push the button. Just push the button. And also, we here at the RFE's podcast have been having conversations. Abstract and I, my co-host from the Usual Suspects podcast, who recently went down a rabbit hole. Now, word on the curb that aside allegedly not only Diddy and other folks from those freak-off parties, but also from this rabbit hole that she went down, there is some connection with Aubrey Graham Cracker and a major hotel somewhere that high-powered folks who allegedly have an affinity for underage girls go to this hotel to make things happen, to live out their sexual exploits. And that there are allegedly video recordings, surveillance footage of Aubrey Graham Cracker and some of these girls, underage girls, where he allegedly has these girls eating out of doggy bowls while on a leash, while he allegedly is doing stuff with these underage girls. And that evidence of his time there is the stuff you see in the album cover for 616 in LA. Glove, prescriptions, some documents. We've all seen the album cover for Kendrick Lamar's 616 in LA. And then, of course, by now you guys have heard about the money that Aubrey paid one of the people in his camp to dig up dirt on Kendrick that he explained in Family Matters is not true. Almost $150,000 to a mole in his own camp. Aubrey Graham Cracker say a lot of things in Family Matters about the bachelor pad in New York City, then goes on to all this other stuff about the family, which is not true. Whitney, Kendrick, and their kids all live in New York City together. They left LA years ago. And of course, the surveillance footage of said mole at the same hotel, allegedly. So, I'm saying this to say this. Don't be too surprised if that person is going to be taken down as well for allegedly doing these things at this hotel room. When you actually think about it, the price that people will pay isn't that great. Like, if you have all this money to pay this person and you believe it to be true, so much so that you go into the studio, record this stuff as a response, and it's not true, that only further supports what Kendrick has been saying. But I'm kind of going off a little bit, but that's kind of like an update to something else. But the point is, you pull up the album cover or the single cover for 616 in LA. The multiple hidden meanings behind that, now that you've just heard what I just said. But it's funny to me that Akademiks is pulling this. Like, when I read that he said that if I'm convicted of rape, I'm taking a lot of people down with me, I instantly thought about that scene from New Jack City when Nino Brown was on the stand and was like, Kareem Akbar, the brother that works at the bank, he's the real head of the CMB. And I told him, if I'm going down, I'm taking a whole lot of motherfuckers down with me. I'm like, push the button. Just run down the list. And just like if Aubrey Graham Cracker can pay money to a mole for information that's not true, I'm pretty sure you can pay a pretty penny for actual information from the hotel where this allegedly happened. And unfortunately, though, you have to go up against, was it UMG, who was already trying to get Kendrick to stop after he has exposed a lot of things. And my thing is, if it's not true, let it fly. Like, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. Why do you want to... I mean, I know it's for money. Drake is good for business. But when it gets to a point that stakeholders want to get involved and wanted to shut down. It makes you wonder, though, why? What are you protecting? And why? Like, it's at a point right now to where property's being damaged, security guards are being assaulted in Toronto, nonetheless. And I'm like, I didn't even know Toronto gangs had, but there's got to be something there. There's got to be something there. And it leads me to believe that not only is there truth maybe to it, but he may also be on this, could be part of this, could be part of this in some way. Mark my words. So, at this point, when it comes to this lawsuit, the civil lawsuit against the Akademiks, it may be an uphill battle for Zaya. Because the interesting parts are that she has obtained the same lawyer that represents Lil Rod, the German or Swedish yacht stewardess that filed a civil lawsuit against Christian Combs. She also represents Kenneth Perry's victim. Tyrone Blackburn is the name of the lawyer. We've talked about him before, actually on this channel. And, you know, the same lawyer that is accused of Rule 11 violations, which we also talked about in a previous video, the Christian Combs video on our channel. It's there. I've heard Tyrone Blackburn's name more times than I can count the last 2 months. And by the way, you know, if you've ever wondered as to the credibility, because there's something to be said when a lawyer accrues so many clients off of the same stream. Lil Rod's lawsuit, the news broke about that back in February, Black History Month. And it has not been settled. It has not gone away or something, but 2 parties that he filed against have been dropped from that lawsuit. Not terribly uncommon, but when you have multiple people listed on the defendant side, including Jane Doe's 1 through 10, which is like an amended space or a placeholder for names to be later added. It is very notable when 2 of the major parties have been dropped. And the golden egg is still living it up on, you know, by way of IG. Looking like he has not a single care in the world. Sending cryptic IG posts. And I'm just like, wow. It may be an uphill battle for Zaya. Because when you actually think about it, just follow me for a little bit. When it comes to filing a lawsuit, the due diligence comes in finding a suitable lawyer. And when you just so happen to be an individual that is filing a lawsuit against I guess, a celebrity, it doesn't cross y'all mind as to the credibility sometimes when a person in a similar situation against a different person just so happens to take up the same lawyer as like 6 to 8 other people. Like, that doesn't cross your mind as like sus. Because trust and believe, while there are credible lawyers such as Ben Crump and other, lawyers that are about positive, impactful change, there are also lawyers out here that are high-end ambulance chasers. They just aren't chasing they're not chasing ambulances. Y'all don't find that sus? I'm asking the audience. So for this lady, and even reading through the complaint, y'all are probably gonna think I'm victim shaming or whatever. But here at the I Refuse podcast, we look at shit from different angles and different perspectives. I was reading the complaint, and it was like she was kind of backfilling, and throughout certain parts of the documents. Like, if you're going to tell a story as you've experienced it, you would tell it straight. For example, when it got to the part about AK sending a vehicle to Pennsylvania so she can get to his house in New Jersey, in the complaint, there's a part after that where she's like, oh, AK reached out or, invited, these 2 guys beforehand. How do you know that? And I was surprised that there were people there to greet me at the house, to let me in or whatever. How do you know that he invited additional people? And how do you know that he said this? It doesn't take a Judge Judy episode for shit to cross your mind, like, the he say, she say stuff is really what gets a lot of people in trouble. Like Judge Judy always says, don't tell me what somebody else told you. Just lay out the facts of your case in your statement. And even then, people would fill out the statement in the paperwork, and it's something different in the court case. Like, the judge isn't going to go back to that. It was certain parts I was just like, hold on. Is this, when you put in parts about what you thought or felt after the fact, like you put that in as part of your statement, that leads me to believe that, like, this Blackburn guy or whomever is in your camp is coaching you. AK could possibly be a lot of things. I don't know this man. I don't know Diddy Combs. I don't know Mr. Simmons. Could very well be a lot of things. But when you are adding what you thought or what you felt after the fact, or it starts to come off to me like you're trying to retroactively reach for a backfill this complaint that you are filing. Now, somewhere in the complaint, it did say that a kit was done, um, and there were some details as to the alleged assault. And AK is, from what I glean at this point, the mindset that the police aren't looking at this. The police don't, like I said, looking at this in different perspectives. That the police aren't investigating this. The police aren't following this. Police aren't even entertaining this mess because a crime hasn't been committed. Sir, for you to respond, and not only that, say out the side of your neck that if I'm going down or I'm convicted of rape, I'm taking a lot of people down with me. A lot of people are like, "Yo, you did that shit," and that could be or could not be a reflection of their bias, right? Like it sucks to be controversial. It sucks to be an individual of your own opinion, and people of the social media age are like, will go to blows behind their keyboard to come at you, and because you don't agree with them, and they're like younger than 30 years of age, haven't lived, as a problem. So for AK to, in a way, fall on the sword for this kind of shit, a lot of people are like, "Nigga, you did that shit." On the other hand, I'm like, let's see how this plays out. Because for Blackburn Esquire to have so many clients that go back a couple of years, um, and to continue to keep getting clients and not a single settlement, because I don't even when I think about it, I don't even think Cassie was one of his clients, and she got a settlement pretty fast. But for Blackburn Esquire to have so many clients, um, and the main one, Lil Rod, have two defendants be dismissed from the case and have Rule 11 violations. And no settlements at this point. We're about almost 6 months into this joint. I'm talking from January. No settlements. No charges. When you actually think about it, you haven't heard any more come out from even that Department of Homeland Security raid. When you think about it. It, I don't know. It's just not looking good. Um, like I say, I've always been a firm believer of if it don't apply, let it fly. But part of me feels like the AK gets off on this. So this is toxic and chaotic from all ends, right? from all ends. And there are probably more people that are foaming at the mouth because they don't like him, for his downfall to come. When the rest of us are like, this shit doesn't put any money in my pocket, one way or another. But the I Refuse podcast is like, this is interesting. And we still find it hilarious that this motherfucker's taking the Nino Brown approach. Kareem Akbar, the brother that works at the bank. He's a real head of the CMB. I told him, if I go down, I'm taking a whole lot of people down with me. You are not Nino Brown, AK. You're not even G Money. He didn't even make it to the end of the movie. Just saying. So, moving on, right? I'm not normally in white people business, but this one kind of had my antennas up. So, by now you probably have looked at Quiet on Set, the HBO Max, or Max now, documentary where some of the Nickelodeon kids from back in the day, the early 90s or whatever, come forth to tell their stories against Dan Schneider and other folks in that universe. Wasn't really a big Nickelodeon watcher outside of Double Dare, but I was like 8 or 9. But like the Amanda Show and It's Like That or Take That or whatever, and Hannah Montana, no. But I haven't watched the documentary, but I did notice that Dan Schneider has filed a defamation character lawsuit, allegedly. Which I'm like, dude, you just opening the door for more shit to come your way. Because while criminal charges may not come down immediately, and anybody can file a civil lawsuit. That's not to say the authorities at this point in the world cannot come knocking at your door, Homeland Security style or FBI style, and they're waiting in the grass. Still they can investigate you for X amount of years, get enough on you to where you can't even, brush it off with a payment. Wasn't really paying a whole lot of attention to this Dan Schneider Quiet on Set thing. And why this motherfucker was so obsessed with feet. And how you can connect the dots as to why the Nickelodeon logo back in the day was a foot. Until Lori Beth Denberg, famous for all that from 1994 to 1998, never watched the show, but Lori Beth Denberg still makes me hollow on the Steve Harvey Show when he had a sitcom back in the day from 1999 to 2002. She was on there. The show itself ran for about, I think, 5 or 6 seasons. But she came in around season 3 to the end of the show as Lydia Liza Gutman, in a way, kind of frenemies to Bullethead and Romeo, totally changed the tone of the show compared to the first 2 seasons. Just so extra, so theatrical, and so funny, right? So that's where I remember her from. For the most part, hasn't spoken out, hasn't talked, living her, 48-year-old life, probably in Montana some damn where, not really tripping off of anything, right? But bitch, for Lori Beth Denberg at this point to talk and spill And not only that, do it through a media outlet. At this point, after being quiet for so long, oh, oh, yeah, Dan is going down. Because it's definitely, I think it's with, for a lot of people, it's like, it's so common and so in our face. And, look at that fucking bug on the wall. Um, that we don't think it's really that special. I think it's something in our psyche or whatever. But when you have a person that's pushing 50. Now, when she was on all that, she was, well, if she's 48 now, she's born 1976. So yeah, she was 18, the oldest cast member on all that. But even still, it's like, this dude was a trip. So in Business Insider, the latest issue, she is accusing showrunner Dan Schneider of sexual harassment and verbal abuse. In a May 15 interview with Business Insider, she details sexual abuse began when she was 19, when Dan called her into the office to show her porn against her will. He was verbally abusive on set, showed her pornography multiple times, fondled her, initiated phone sex. She also alleges he barred her from the Amanda Show set after she became concerned about Amanda Bynes' health. You know, Amanda Bynes, at some point when she was on the show, invited her on the set. Lori Beth saw that she's being overworked. Lori Beth then decided to go over Dan Schneider's head to his bosses. And not only Dan Schneider's direct boss, but Nickelodeon Entertainment president, L.B. Hecht. And then the result of that was Dan Schneider banned her from the set. Now, Dan Schneider, you responding to banning her from the set makes you look guilty as fuck, bro. But the point is, for Lydia Liza Gluckman to be like, look, I'm not part of the documentary, but I got a story to tell. And you will hear me. Lydia Liza Gluckman has always told a joke, but would never tell a lie. So for her to come out of her Montana cabin, or wherever she live at, she probably farms or whatever, with her freckles, to take the time out and add credibility, because I believe her. Oh, this motherfucker's going down. She should have filed a suit. I wouldn't have gone with Tyrone Blackburn if she does. But what the fuck y'all got going on over there? And Dan Schneider wants to file for defamation and shit. Like, come on, bro. Like, at some point, we got to really... And, you know, children, unfortunately, are just never safe. Whether it's an executive or a showrunner doing this kind of shit, or it's their own parents who are their managers excusing the shit. Later on, like, one of the Nickelodeon kids that I believe allegedly was a victim of Dan Schneider, his mama, who is black, took a different stance. And it was just like, ew. I was like, what the Todd Bridges mama is going on here? Like, what? Selling your kids out for a little bit of check? Like, not for nothing, Nickelodeon is not Disney. And when you think about it, you have never heard anything similar come out of Disney or, anybody that's been a Mickey Mouse Club kid or performer or an animator or a voice actor or anything. Only Nickelodeon. That says a lot. Now, while it could be alleged that, Walt Disney was a racist and a cheater and stuff, never, while it's very, very harmful, you ain't never heard of no shit come out of Disney when you think about it that's like similar to the Dan Schneider thing that's being alleged. But it makes you wonder, like, and I only bring that up because I saw a clip of Orlando Brown talking about, oh, I worked for Disney. We didn't have those situations over here. Orlando Brown. Funny and shit, like he's good for reality TV. He's like, oh, I was a Disney kid. I didn't work for Nickelodeon. I worked for Disney. We didn't have those problems over here at Disney. Oh, we didn't have any of that over here at Disney. Oh, we don't know anything about that. I was like, you know what? And it makes you wonder, though, right, as to the quality of the experience. Is that a reflection of the money? Because trust and believe, while Disney itself has a pretty checkered past, which is just, merely a reflection of the times, Disney's money is a lot longer than Nickelodeon's money. And and when you think about it, do you think that because of the limited budget or financial piece, that they didn't like do a background check? They didn't have security or I told this nigga I was recording. He gonna yell until I stop. That they didn't have adequate protection. Who's thinking about the kids? I'm thinking about Lori Beth. I don't know what's going to happen or become of the Zaya thing, but something's going to have to give with that situation. And we will be around to update y'all accordingly. It's Mr. Fox I Refuse podcast. I will try to keep the frequency up to the standard to which y'all are accustomed. But things have kind of died down a little bit now that I think about it. But we still here. I Refuse podcast available wherever you get your podcasts. Apple, Spotify, and 6 other platforms. The YouTube channel is still alive and kicking. Also check out the usual suspects in I Refuse podcast after dark. Till then, I will catch you guys later. Peace. Fendi, like the bag. This is the I Refuse podcast.